Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Minneapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa, Massachusetts,
Georgia, Canada,
Our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesian,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Aulani Resort,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening
to
to my
Hey there, Pete. How you doing? So Pete is producing for us tonight, and he's doing a fabulous job. But I would like to welcome all of you to the My DVC Points podcast Community Hall Live. We are so excited to have you here tonight. We're talking all things Aulani, so you are in for a treat. We're going to have lots about all the places to eat, all the activities to do on and off property, as well as some quick tips and tricks from the people who we are going to have on the show tonight. But before we get to them, let's just take a minute to talk about something that we were talking about in the pre-show, where everybody was saying, oh, we're going to have to stay off property because we don't have enough points. Well, if you're looking to get more points, the best place to call for resale, as you know, is the DVC resale market. So just give them a shout. There are wonderful sponsors for tonight's show. Now, I'd like to welcome to the show Nick and Steve.
Aloha.
I love it. I love the matching shirts.
So cute, right? Got some
Very
stitch action
cute.
going on.
You gotta have the stitch action going for sure, and especially seeing as though my dog's name is Lilo. You know, we have an affinity in this house for Stitch. And then we also have with us tonight Holly and Dan.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
That's great. How are you guys doing tonight? What's new? We're going to talk all things Aulani, but how are you guys doing?
We're doing
Awesome.
good.
This is one of my favorite things to talk about.
Yes. We fell
You
in
know, you
love.
already have another one on the books, right? Like that's
Yes, we do.
Well,
coming
it's
up.
not officially on the books, but it's on the books.
It's
The
planned
points
for.
are spoken for. Yeah.
That's it. Exactly that. So the first topic that we're going to be talking about tonight is where to eat on property. So one of my favorite topics. Now, we were there back in 2020, so it's been a little while, and I'm hoping that you guys can help me plan for our upcoming trip that we're going in 2 weeks. While I have a lot of reservations already done, I'd like to get your take on the places that are the most fun and the most yummy to eat at. So, Nick and Steve, what are your suggestions for where to eat on property?
If you love character breakfast, you have to do the Makihiki-Character Breakfast at Aulani. It runs a little bit differently. So just to be forewarned, when you first go, you get to meet Mickey and take pictures and everything. And then they swing around and you get to meet Minnie, who's the chef for the day. And then you get to see Chip and Dale. They're the ones who come around to the tables and interact. So that's two separate things. So a little bit different than how I was having the characters roaming, but it's delicious. You get a basket of pastries to share, you get some fruit, and then you get to choose an entree. And I had Loco Moco, which was delicious.
Love Loco Moco.
Yes.
So yummy.
We also did Olelo Room at night, which was really lovely and romantic for the two of us to do some cocktails, really beautiful. And there's music wherever you go in Hawaii, right? And music at Aulani is fantastic as well. So having a little serenade there is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then we also love Dole Whip. So you want to go to little, I'm not sure how to say it. Trying to see. Oh,
It was our first time, by the way.
Yes.
So we're going to sound like newbies because we were. So I bet that Austin's probably going to correct us. Was it?
Yes.
No.
Opie? But little Opies, yeah.
Yes. But that was delicious. We had watermelon Dole Whip. Not as good as the pineapple Dole Whip, but it was delicious. And then also you have to have the shaved ice. So the Mickey shaped shaved ice.
Yeah.
We really liked the passion fruit one, the Loa Key or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. Very delicious. So.
Now,
And of course,
important question.
Go ahead.
To condensed milk or to not condensed milk? That is the question.
He does not like condensed milk. I loved it. So this time we got it there.
I'm Team Steve for this. I gotta say, folks, drop in the comments which way you like to have your shave ice, because
Just by two.
I know.
I was a big boy and tried it though.
You need
Yeah.
the
Okay,
condensed
good.
milk on top and the ice cream underneath.
Oh.
Yes.
And of
yes,
course, we
yes.
are DVC members, so we have kitchenettes or bigger. So doing a little in room dining is fantastic as well. How about those Austins?
I agree a lot with what you guys
Yes.
said. We did the character breakfast.
Mhm.
Fantastic food. They got the characters, but they also even have a ukulele player singing live music while you're going around. It's such a great setting. I mean, it's a indoor outdoor kind of restaurant, so it's open air, so it's beautiful.
And we were kind of outside, like almost
By
kind
the
of by the
koi
koi pond, and it was just a wonderful way to start our morning. We did it on our last full morning.
Right.
I wish we had done it on our first full morning, just to kind of start out a little bit with a little bit of Disney magic. But
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the Leo room, like you guys said, great place to go for the evening. They have live music. They do some small plates, and if you like sushi, they have a great sushi bar there.
however, ours was not romantic because we had 4 kids with us. But don't be afraid to take your kids to the lounges. Our kids love the lounges, and actually our son asked on our next Disney trip if we can eat at the bars.
Oh my.
And they're like, you mean the lounges?
Yes.
So yes, take your kids to the lounges. They have food for the kids. There is a kids menu. And if they don't, you can always ask what's available.
Right.
That's
And I think one of the places that we enjoyed the most was Off the Hook. It kind of has like that almost Geyser Point vibes to it a little bit. And we did that. We ate by poolside there. We took it to go to the room, so you can get flatbreads, you can get sandwiches. I mean, they have a lot. So that's probably
you even got like braised short rib or something there for dinner one night. Yeah.
So I mean, everything we had there was excellent. That was very good. We had one time where we were in between swimming, so we didn't want to go back to the room. We didn't want to run anywhere, so we even stopped at Mama's Snack Shop. Simply, it's just a fryer, but you can get fried shrimp, you can get sandwiches,
Coconut shrimp.
Yep, coconut shrimp,
So good.
mozzarella sticks, everything.
Mini corn dogs.
Kids between the age of 8 and 2 love. So you have all that right there. So those were really, really good. We didn't splurge and hit the super expensive prefix. But because we splurged elsewhere later, so.
And we did have Dole Whip. We did not get it from Little Opie's though. We got it from the quick service. Anything else from the quick service but Dole Whip. But they do also have it there because I think Little Opie's has like limited hours because it's down near the beach.
Yeah.
So if it's later in the day, you can still get it at the quick service.
We like the twists. Do you guys do that?
We usually do all pineapple.
Yep.
All pineapple. But yeah, I mean, there's so many options. And like they said, we were in a villa with a kitchen. So, I mean, we pretty much ate breakfast in our room every day, stopped at the grocery store and got breakfast items. And then one night we did like DiGiorno pizzas in the oven and just snacks at the table
Pizza
after
night.
swimming. We had pizza night and the kids loved that because that's like a normal thing for us at home. But yeah.
I mean, the food, we didn't have a bad meal anywhere on property. But you got to remember, you're in Hawaii on property. So it's a little, it's a little elevated pricing. But, if you're expecting that, you won't get the sticker shock when you get the check. But, I mean, there wasn't a meal that we were like, that was just okay. Everything was excellent over there.
Now, when you guys were there, did they still do the poolside ordering? That's something that we used a lot on our last trip there.
We didn't use it, but I did see people with menus in the chairs. We ate Off the Hook is right there at the pool. So we went and sat down at a table at the restaurant and ate at a table. But yeah.
You could also do mobile order for Off the Hook. We didn't use it while we were there, but we knew that was available.
That's the only restaurant that did. Yeah.
No.
We also did not do ama like you were saying. We were with my parents, and my parents are just not into that style of like hoity-toity and very expensive. I mean, we probably would have been if we were without them. I will also say that if you have a car, I know you're probably watching Mom, aren't you? But if you have a car, which I'm sure many of you do, I mean, it's not that far to an awesome section of shopping. So you got your Target and Costco and a lot of options to make that in room dining option makeable.
Yeah, it's like what, 10 minutes? I mean,
Yeah,
if that.
It's really not far.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually renewed our Costco. We hadn't had a Costco membership for like 8 years or whatever. And we renewed ours because we're going to Hawaii. It was like,
yeah, and you can do pickup orders. We did a pickup order from Target. I just put them in the phone and we stopped on our way back from, I think, Pearl Harbor or something and picked stuff up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do those Austins dine off property too?
We do.
We do.
We do.
Do you want us to share some off-property dining?
I was going to say,
Yes.
do we have any comments before we get to there?
Ooh.
I don't know if we've got anything, Pete. No? Yeah. So Caleb says it sounds yummy, making me excited about our planned 2026 trip. That's great.
Fun.
Awesome. And then it's the Austins, parents of the biggest star on YouTube. Cute.
Yeah.
All right. So then off property, I'm guessing a lot of you enjoyed the little complex that's across the street from Aulani.
We did. Yeah.
All right. So why don't we talk about that? So Nick and Steve, where did you guys eat off property?
We ate at Monkey Pod, so we actually made reservations through Open Table, like a few months in advance. We liked it so much, we went back a few days later and sat in the bar, got there a little bit earlier for their happy hour. If you like beer, they have a nice selection of Hawaiian beers, which was very delicious. We tried the pizzas. The pizzas are very, very delicious. I had the fish tacos. If you love fish tacos, highly recommend those. Those were delicious. The Mai Tai is supposed to be really good. I didn't have Mai Tai. I stuck with my beer. So
it was
very And then, of course, those who go to Honolulu or Waikiki, et cetera, whatever, you can't escape ABC stores. And there is an ABC store, basically, there. And they have some amazing options for food right inside the ABC store. Like, there's quite a few options for gelato and like
shubi.
Yeah, it's a lot of food options, more than you'd think in a convenience store.
Do they still have like the Dole Whip machine?
I don't remember seeing that. I know they had, if you like poke, they had the large selection.
I know.
Poke. So.
We had to go there every day for Evie. She was like, that's what she lived off of. She was like 8 when we went. And she's like, can we go for more poke? I'm like, okay. Shocked.
How about you kids?
We also ate in that same area. We did Monkey Pod.
Yes.
The pizzas were fantastic.
And we did the pork tacos. We didn't do fish tacos.
We did pork tacos.
Those were really good.
Pretty much everything we had was very good. We ate at Eggs and Things, and that was a really good breakfast there. I mean, you're in Hawaii, and all the fruit is so like fresh, and then they throw it on the pineapple, and you got like
pancakes,
the macadamia nut sauce and all that. So.
Yeah. And their coffee was really good, very strong. Nice coffee.
When we did our Pearl Harbor Day, we went to Nico's Pier 38, which was very good. It's a fish market that's they bring it right. It's right on the pier. It's an open air again, and you can see the water and the boats coming in. And they have a ton of food there. It was very good. And then we headed up to the North Shore, and they did some of the food trucks that were up there. So we went to Big Wave, right?
Big Wave shrimp.
So if you like the garlic shrimp is something that all the food trucks, Giovanni's is also well known up there as well. But that whole lot was full. You couldn't even get into. So
Big Wave.
Yeah, so Big Wave was really good. And those when you go to those kind of the food trucks and kind of off property, you get a lot more value in your meals. And I think one of our favorite meals that we got was were we on the north or the west side?
We were on the east side of the island. We were at Kulo Ranch.
Yeah, and we were just driving by. It was a Coral Kingdom, store, and there was a guy out there with a trailer making some huli chicken, and it was unbelievably good.
Yeah, he's just like out in the parking lot cooking on this open pit. And huli means turn. So they're like constantly turning this chicken. And it's like their version of like a barbecue grilled chicken.
And we grabbed a couple of those to go, and we went to the state park and had lunch right there. And that was by far one of the best meals that we had and cheapest meals that we had there.
Yeah,
too.
and it's like they have, I forget what they call them, but it was a boxed lunch and it was the chicken with rice and mac salad, and that's like a big thing with the sauce for the chicken.
Bento box?
No, I forget what they call them, but
A Hawaiian plate.
yes,
Plate. Yeah.
lunches. Yeah,
Hawaiian plate lunch.
yeah, we got some of those, and like you said, we went to the state park, and we had a view of the Chinaman's Hat island there, and it was just such a wonderful, like, relaxing, not planned meal.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But we
So
all,
when you were on the North Shore, did you guys try Matsumoto's shave ice? No.
that had a huge line there.
Yeah, our kids were ready to go back.
They wanted to get back to the pool,
Yeah.
so they nice back at the lot.
Yeah.
But another must stop is Leonard's Bakery.
Mm-hmm.
Those what are
Malasadas.
Oh,
Yes.
And
so good.
the
So
original bakery, I think, is in Waikiki.
It is,
But
yeah.
they have trucks like all over the place. And we got one near Pearl Harbor, but I think there's one in Kopali, which is really close to Aulani.
They're all over.
They're all over. You just have to look up on their website where the trucks are and go get some fresh malasadas because they are
so
life-changing.
That might be our first stop when we land.
Yeah, it might be the
There
first.
you go. You just pick it up and go.
Yes, yeah.
That's great.
And if you're in Waikiki, you should also try Penny's Malasadas.
So it's in the mall there, and we had them just super fresh, and they were so good.
So
I'm
both
good
locations.
with trying all the malasadas.
Yes.
Great tips, folks. Do we have any? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say there are so many options, and we did a lot of research before we went on, places that weren't super far away from other things that we were going to. So, I mean, there's a food that can fit any style. So if you're afraid of like seafood, you can find anything that will fit your life.
So Tony Mueller says, I'm listening, planning for 2024. That's awesome. And then Rai Kim says, Mina's Fish House at the Four Seasons next door is a wonderful alternative to Ama Ama. Great tip.
Nice.
Yeah, we heard that's really good too.
Yeah. Caleb says the best food usually comes from a location that looks questionable. I don't know if I'm 100% with you there, Caleb, but I'll have to find that ooey gooey chicken guy.
All I know is when we drove by, it smelled really good, and when we drove back, there was a line of people.
Yeah,
so we were like,
there was.
Oh, that's awesome.
The parking lot was full, and there was a huge crowd of people. So we were like, okay, this can't be that questionable if there's this many people eating it.
That's it. And at the Target. So you're good.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it for our discussion on where to eat off property. What is next? Activities, I guess we're going to be looking at. So what about the on-property activities, folks? Nick and Steve, what were your favorites?
My favorite was the Rainbow Reef, which is the saltwater snorkeling with the fish. Quick tip, because we found this from a cast member, is you can buy the day pass, and after you're done, if you really enjoy it, you could always upgrade to the length of stay pass.
But you have to do it.
You have to do it by the end of that day. Because we started off our first 15 minutes, we both hated it because we couldn't quite figure it out. By the end, went, okay, I got it figured out. So we did upgrade. I went every single day. I see there's a picture there. Totally love it. I went for about a half hour each time. Put on your sunscreen because I got sunburned the last day. But it's a very cool experience. I mean, if you want to try snorkeling, so it's a little bit safer environment. So that was one of my favorite things.
Ooh, and wear sandals or something on your feet. Oh my gosh. I was walking around and I just about died. It was so hot on those toes. I went to do the reef as well. And it's quite a hurdle to get started because there's, 15 or more feet of this slimy green algae rock to swim across to get to the pool first. And, I just hadn't done the whole snorkeling thing before. So, but once I did, it was really, really enjoyable. So I have to upgrade as well.
Keep that water out of your mouth, man. That is the worst.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
Keep your mouth closed.
And of course,
way to sell it there, folks.
But hey, we all upgraded. So.
That's not. I mean,
they also
so cool.
go ahead. Oh, same. They also have these windows that your family can come and enjoy watching you doing as well. Or if that's not your thing to actually go do it, you can enjoy watching other people do it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then of course this was our first time to Hawaii ever. So I know, crazy. And so we wanted to do a luau, and of course they do a wonderful luau. Tell them about it.
The food is much better than we expected. We expected it was going to be okay food, but it was actually really good food. It does include cocktails. So that's nice. They had a couple different choices, and they also have an open bar. And then, so usually you sit down and eat, and then they have about an hour-long performance, which was really nice. We just had the general admission, so we were near the back, but we still had a good view of the stage. They do have some dancers and smaller platforms, so you can see action going on.
Oh, fun.
If you want preferred viewing, you need to be booking that early, because we were hoping to get that, and I sort of missed that time. It is on the spendy side, but it's worth the price.
I mean, I'm a seat princess when I go to see concerts and such, and I didn't feel like it was a bad thing in terms of view. I was fine. You could have been anywhere. It would be great. But yeah, the meat, especially if you're not a vegetarian, but the meat especially was on point. It was fantastic and great selection of desserts and yeah. Oh, look, there's my parents. They're so cute. My parents at Makihiki, and I was actually with Mickey right before Makihiki. Yes. It's so adorable.
Awesome.
And then they have activities. So once you check in, they have different activities. They have a tattooing stamping. They had where I got to smash some poi and try poi for the first time.
Disgusting.
It's okay. They had lei making. So it's the dancers that are in the show running those stations. So that was really cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Did you get yourself a tattoo? Did you get an arm tattoo?
Yes, I did have an arm tattoo, and it lasts. You could wash it off. It was really quick. Yeah. So, and then of course the lazy river and the water slides. He did go on the one water slide is basically a dark tube, which is sort of just for the little ones. Be prepared. It's just single person, and it's dark at first, pretty fun. Quick note, that's the shorter side because the one with the tubes usually tends to be the longer wait.
Yeah,
which was fun though.
which is very fun. You could go down single or double.
I don't know if that's deceptive or not, because when you think about it, you've got these giant tubes with you, so maybe the tubes are taking up a lot of space in that line. Because we always found it was pretty fast. So
when we were there, the tube was faster. I mean, the dark water slide was faster than the other side, and then the lazy river is awesome.
Lazy River was so great with my parents too, because neither one at age 80 felt good about going on by themselves. So my sister went twice with them, and it was pretty adorable.
Awesome.
And it was just lazy and delightful. Anything else we have got?
I would say that a tip is if you can't find lounge chairs because people quickly grab them, is there are spots where they have little cubbies, and we always were able to find a cubby to put things.
Okay, that's good. Do they still have the adults only section? So they used to have a hot tub and a pool?
No, from what I know now is all those sections are open.
Okay.
So, but we did notice, we never went over there. One of the pools off to the side is not as crowded. Where it seems to be the most is around the slides. So
what'd you get these two? So you like pin trading?
Oh, yes. And then pin trading. So once a day they have pin trading, and basically you get to go up, and recommend getting there early, because what they were doing is if you trade a pen, you drop it in a bucket, and then as things are coming off the board. We did notice the next day they started cleaning all those pens, and there's the ones that go up on the board the next day.
Oh, that's cool.
So they take them off to sterilize them. So the best choice is right away. And they actually that's right across from the gift shop, but they also do one about an hour earlier out at the
lava shop or something like
Lava Shack.
Lava Shack.
Okay, underneath underneath the volcano.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then we didn't get to do it because we weren't there. We were leaving on a Monday, but currently they were telling us that the DVC celebration thing is on Mondays.
Well, we also waited till almost the last day to actually stop by officially at DVC to get the gift, and found out they have something for you every day. So stop by and say hello every day. And of course, we did the tour with my parents. They could see what it looks like when you're not in the Grand Villa. See all the different rooms.
Don't they show you the Grand Villa?
Well, they did, but when we were staying in it, then.
It was so much fun. So they do the whole breakfast for DVC members still.
Well, it's not really a breakfast.
Okay.
They have it out on the lawn.
Mhm.
And you kind of go in and you check in, and they give you soleils and
the cocoa
you get a magnet, and you go out on the lawn, and they got a dance party going on, and they do their spiel with trying to sell Aulani and all that. But then like Mickey and Minnie come out, and Donald and Daisy and Moana, and they're dancing on the stage that the luau's on. And then after everything is done there, then you can go and you can meet all of them all at one time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
fun. It's pretty early in the morning though.
It was at like 8 a.m.
8 a.m. So if you have a lawn room, you got the party going on. 8 a.m.
It was nice to be able to see all those characters in one place, and the kids love the dance party. Any dance party is a kid's thing. So yeah, we enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I mean, there are a lot of characters you can actually meet on property while you're there, and they're all throughout the lagoon and the different pools. So you got to really watch where they're going to be, because you got to go from one to the other, and you get to know everyone in line because you're all going to the same place and all that stuff.
And the tip about the characters is they don't put the schedule for the characters up on the app until about 11 o'clock that day, 11 a.m. And so you don't know who's going to be out where or when until that day. So if you look at the app first thing in the morning and you don't see any characters, don't worry. They're just figuring it out still, I think. And then they'll load up later. So check closer to lunchtime.
Or not. When
or not. What do you mean or not?
Oh, when we were there, there was nothing ever on the app, but the characters were out. So if you don't see it on the app, just sort of pay attention. They'll come in and out. So
yeah, so many cool characters.
You can also check with any cast member out at the pool or anything, and they can look on their iPad and see when things.
That's a good tip.
Yeah,
we love seeing Angel and Stitch and Moana, cool. And who else do we see? Oh, Max and Goofy, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that picture there of my family sitting, that's Dan and three of our three older kids. That's the dance party, like before the dance party started. But the cool thing was the MC, I think, is standing. Is he standing behind you?
I think so.
But he came around and he asked where everyone was from and where you were owners at. And then everybody cheered for you. And they said, okay, we're from Ohio. Ohio in the house. Cheer for Ohio. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun and got everybody involved in it.
That's so cool. Well, it's nice to see that they're changing it up so that every time guests go, and if you're a member, it's kind of like a different experience throughout the course of the years.
And as far as like DVC events go, you said you waited to the last day to stop at the DVC counter and talk to them. But when we were there, they had an event going on where they gave you like a little passport book, and they would teach you a Hawaiian word. And every day the word was different, and they'd stamp your book, and you get a different DVC item each day. So I think we got pop sockets and magnets, and I don't even know what else. Luggage. Yeah. So every day they gave out something different.
Look at your artists.
Yes, we took advantage of the activities for sure. They had ukulele lessons. They had
animation classes.
Yeah, we did those multiple times. So they have different characters. And that's Rain, the cast member there. He was fantastic.
Oh, he's so good.
He was one of the best that we ran into.
And he did everything. He did the animation class. He did the ukulele lesson. He taught the Aulani hula lessons. He did the dance party. He did like everything. By the end of the week,
director.
That's it, exactly.
He knew our kids' names, and like the last day we went to an animation class, and he signed one of his big poster, and he signed it to them and sent it home with them. It was just like so Disney.
So
it was
sweet.
So Disney.
And one of the most popular events was Thingamabobs, which that's why Abby is dressed up as a princess mermaid there, where you actually go out on the beach. There's a pirate that comes in. There's a whole storyline, and you got to trick the mermaids into getting back his treasure. So you have to dress up someone in your family as a mermaid. So luckily, fun. Abby wanted to do it. I saw more than one dad being dressed up as a mermaid. So, but I got out of that. But so the activities, they're free.
A lot of them are free. Yes.
Yeah, and they're at different times of the day, so they're very good. There's they have nighttime ones where they do story time around the fire. They do a real great job with storytelling.
And some of the activities you have to sign up for, you have to register for.
Yeah.
Now, when we were there, we had to go the morning of and register, but I believe that has since changed, that you have to register, I think, is it 30 or 60 days in advance now on the app.
And they fill up. Yeah.
They do. They fill up like immediately. We were like the first or second person in line every day. And by 8:00 in the morning, the line was huge. And I mean, the room isn't very big where they do it. I think they take like 36 people in some of those classes. So, I mean, it's not very big.
They'll do movies out on the lawn. We watched Home Alone. It was around Christmas time. So that was fun.
Popcorn in our room.
Yep. They do, there's a star tracking experience where you can, stargaze and all that stuff. And like, even if you don't want to do any planned activity, there's the Menehune search that you can do around.
Oh, it's still there. That's great.
Yeah. So you go around the whole resort trying to find Menehune. There's some in the Rainbow Reef.
Yeah.
If you go in there.
They do have there is a tablet that you can get and it interacts with things. That was under refurbishment when we were there, so we couldn't check out a tablet to do that part. But the kids liked just finding them. And one of the cast members told us there's over 300 Menehune hidden at the Aulani Resort. We didn't even find those.
A hint for one of those is somewhat near the gift shop. There's a little alcove, actually, where they do the pen trading. Perhaps you want to look into a keyhole.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Evie found that one. Yeah. So it was a pretty cool one.
Yeah. That was
pretty
I think
special.
That was our 4-year-old's favorite thing, finding them
every
day. Yep, every day. Even the same ones every day.
For sure. So what do folks have to say about their experiences with all these activities? So Rai Kim says, picnic on the beach while watching the sunset every evening. Everything in Hawaii is expensive, but this one is free. Very true. It's the most spectacular sunsets at Aulani.
And the lagoon is so nice because it's blocked off, so there's not huge waves. It's just so relaxing.
It is indeed. Frederica says, sounds like they've upgraded the food since COVID. She went in 2018.
Yeah, we had good food.
And then Rai Kim says the Infinity hot tub is still adults only. Thank you. I'm looking for that quiet area while we're there. And then Frederica says Aulani used to be the only resort where cast members took not reserving seats seriously. Not anymore. I guess
they still do. Yes, they're very laid out rules.
Oh, okay, good. And then Facebook user says if you book the luau and you're a DVC member, you get a DVC member gift. Oh, did you guys get that? No,
We did not hear about that.
You pick it up at the DVC table next to the check-in area and not the main DVC room.
I didn't see a DVC table. They just had like one person standing with a tablet when we were there. Yeah. But I did want to go back to the luau because I know you guys said that you did the general seating. We splurged for the preferred seating.
Oh, nice.
It was a splurge because we're a family of 6. So
for sure.
It was a big splurge, but we were done and we're like, okay, we would do the preferred seating again.
Well, the kids were able to do the activities right away.
Multiple times.
Yeah. And what was nice is for us with the multiple kids, like we didn't have to get up to go to the bar. They would go and get drinks for us at the scene.
Yeah, we had like a server.
And they brought, and I think they do this everywhere, which is nice to know. The kids get their bento box delivered to the table.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about trying to go to the buffet and bring it all back for them. And it's a good amount of food. They enjoyed it. So.
And there was a picture that had popped up earlier of the luau, and that was our picture. We were right next to the stage, and I really think that helped our little ones because ours are little. I mean, our youngest was 18 months on this trip, and him being able to be right there with no one else in front of him to see the show, I think really helped keep him engaged in the show.
But they do a nice job making it interactive all the way down the main line. Like, they do have those dance like platforms that they're on.
Yeah. But yeah, I think if you go with kids, I think it's 100% worth it. You got to do all those activities. They spent a lot of time with you because there weren't very many people in yet. We got a digital photo with it included. And so
a couple of things The sunset, we found that you have to go beyond the Aulani Lagoon, but go one over from that to actually see it set. It looks like you're going to see it, but not quite. So if you go over one, that's cool. If you like karaoke, they call it shakeoke. So that was an option. And then there are a few options for paid events too. Some of which are DVC only, including the mixology class.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool.
We're looking at those for our next trip.
Didn't they have like macaroons?
Macaroons and mimosas.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yes, I agree. That's what we're going to do next trip. We don't have it because we have to upgrade to a 2-bedroom. So we're going to do Island Garden View and hope to watch the luau.
Yeah, exactly. So Ryan mentions that request for an Iwa Tower Island Garden View room, and you could watch the show for free. No food included, of course.
Yeah.
Ryan should be on this show. You're
I
full of information.
know. Well, it sounds like from the beginning of the show that he's from Hawaii. So
Drop us lots of comments, Ryan.
exactly. So which activities did you guys do off property?
Well, we stayed in Waikiki for 4 days before we moved over to Aulani. So one of those days we went out and visited Pearl Harbor, and we just only did the boat out to the actual memorial and then looked around the displays. But they also have the submarine tour, and then they have one of the other ships. So you could spend a good portion of the day there. And then, like the Austins were mentioning afterwards, we did go to Nico's because we had another server who told us about Nico's. That's how we ran across it.
I will say, if you do Pearl Harbor, you can watch the video, which you should. It's a really great video, narrated by Stalker Channing. But decide how you want to feel at the memorial itself if you watch it before or after. We watched it after, and I kind of wish we had seen it before. It was very moving, and I think it would have been much more interesting to go out there afterwards.
Yes, and I highly recommend reserving your tickets before on the website. It's $1 per ticket, but that way you have a guaranteed time. If you get there, you still can get in, but you're on standby, and there's no guarantee.
That's a great tip.
I did that. I think like they open some maybe 2 or 3 months in advance. So that was sort of a nice thing. And go earlier in the morning because it's a little bit cooler before it gets too hot. And then we also spent a day after we were in Aulani. We went out and went to the Dole plantations, which I'll let Nick talk about that.
To the source, right? If you like Dole, you got to go there. And again, I would go earlier. The train ended up being like an hour and a half long wait. When we got there, we're like, no, thank you. So I would go early so you could not have to have that wait. Some really great shopping. You can see that we took a pineapple home with us to the Grand Villa and cut it open there, which was pretty sweet, literally. Pretty awesome to do that. But they have a really great garden, which you have to pay for to do, but it was really worthwhile if you like, if you're someone who likes gardening things, botanist. And you did the maze.
I did the maze. I don't know if it's currently, but one time it was the world's largest hedge maze, sort of, which was really fun. They have like 8 different stations, which represents each one of the Hawaiian islands that you go through, and you sort of have a stencil that you made it through, and they give you a map. So that was nice and exciting. And of course, you get Dole Whip. We had Dole Whip.
We had Dole Whip with chunks of pineapple.
Yes. I can't have it any other way now. I ruined it.
Oh, God.
So good.
Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness. If you do go to Waikiki and you like Thai food, Noi Thai is delicious. So good.
Good tip.
You Austins have.
We went to all those locations as well, and we would say probably with Pearl Harbor, it's a little bit harder with younger kids because it is a serious place. It's not, something that, it's not like real. I mean, it's touristy, but it's not meant to be kind of that way. And we just did the boat ride over and a boat ride back, and we were like, that's good. We made it good with them on that.
But something to know about Pearl Harbor is they do not allow bags in
at all,
except for clear bags. So like they wouldn't even allow our diaper bag in. So I had to take the stuff out that we would need and put it in the bottom of the stroller. I didn't have a clear bag with me. So just keep that in mind if you're going to Pearl Harbor, either a great bag to take with you, or just know that you can't take any type of bag in.
They have lockers, I think. Right outside?
Yes, they do.
They did have lockers, yes.
Yeah, cool.
And then we did the Dole Plantation too. I would not wait an hour and a half for that train ride, so you guys probably made a good call.
Yeah,
I kids loved the train though. They loved it.
It's good, but not an hour and a half.
We were there right at opening. We rope dropped the Dole Plantation, which was surprising because it was the same morning we did the DVC dance party.
Yeah,
but we booked it over.
So you were up already. We're good.
We made it over there for opening, and I think we maybe waited 20 minutes for the train, just a couple trains. And I mean, our 4-year-old is obsessed with trains, so I'm glad he got to do it.
Yeah,
but
awesome.
We definitely go back for Dole Whip. That's for sure. I
don't know if we would do anything else at the plantation again, but we would definitely go back for the Dole Whip and the
we tried
store.
to lose the kids in the hedge maze, but they kept finding
didn't work. No, they kept finding you.
And then one of my favorite was the Kahlua Ranch, which is where they do a lot of the movies and all that stuff. And it's a very natural what Hawaii is. And it is such a cool place to be. And the tours, they got multiple tours that you can take. You can take horseback, you can take a bus, you can take an ATV, you can take a truck. We did the Jurassic Valley tour. Me and the boys did, and then Holly and Abby and Micah, because he couldn't go on that one with us. They did the movie stop tour.
On the bus.
That's fun.
Yeah, and they did a nice job, telling the history of the ranch, and then making all the movie stops. It is, they're long tours. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hour tours that you do. It's pricey, but it is well worth it. I think that's one of the things that I was like, that's a must do next time we go. If you're adventurous, they have zip lining. Did not do that, but they have all kinds of different things. You can do horseback
riding through them. I mean,
so cool.
We were just driving on we had a rental vehicle, so we were driving on, I think it was like the H3, and you go through a tunnel and you come out of this tunnel and you just see these green mountains. And I was just like, I've seen it like on movies, and you're just like, I can't believe places like this actually exist in the world. It was amazing. And I think that's one place that we will for sure go back to and try different tours. Yeah.
Amazing. Any other comments before we get to the comments in the thread? No, we're good. All right. So Pete, let's see what folks are saying. All right. Riken says Noi Tai, President Obama's favorite Thai joint. Look at you guys. You found it.
And ironically, there's 3 other locations of Noi Tai, 2 of which are in the Seattle area.
Oh, no way. That's so cool. So Facebook user says you can actually order the pineapples from the Dole Plantation for shipping to the mainland USA. Order the large count and share with your neighbors, as most of the cost is shipping. The pineapples don't ripen after picking, so eat as soon as you receive it.
I think the shipping was over $50. Yeah. When we were there.
It doesn't seem that bad, actually. No. I wonder how much it would cost to ship to Canada. So Kim says skydive from you're getting very adventurous now. Skydive from Dillingham Airfield in the North Shore. Nothing like seeing the entire island of Oahu. I can imagine. 8,000 feet. I can safely see that from the Hawaiian Air. Up and down that I'll be doing from Maui. Thanks for the tip. I'll make sure to look out the window. So I think that's it for our off-property activities that you guys did. Now let's get to some tips and tricks. I asked you before the show if you could give us one tip and trick each. So let's start with you, Steve.
Go for at least 4 days.
4 days? That seems incredibly short.
Well, we're talking at least 4 days. No, at least 4 days. At least. Because we were discussing at what point would I be satisfied that I felt like it was worth the trip? Because we were there 4 days. Would we want to stay longer? Yes, but we felt like if it had been 3, it would not have been enough. But stay for 4 days.
I mean, it's a long flight for us, like 6 or so, but it's a long flight for some of you. So if you're in for
Sandy, you have to remember they're from the West Coast.
4 days.
Yes. And save your points for the Grand Villa.
I would still be like jet lagged by day 4.
I'd say for me yes, like he just said, save your points for the Grand Villa, and I'm not sure we could stay anywhere else after that because that's the full-on view of the water and the 65-foot deck that has an exit from any of the rooms. It's so awesome. It makes you just happy just to hang out in your room. But to add on to that is we did go with my parents. They were 80 years old, and my sister, and it was just a really special thing. So I know the title of the show is for all ages, and it really, really is a resort for all ages. So take your loved ones with you, make those special memories, and have a great time.
Fantastic. And how about you, Holly?
Okay, so I kind of have two. Don't be afraid to take kids. I think that I was afraid because
Were you really?
We're from Ohio, and that it was like 11 and a half hour flight, and our kids were ranged in age from 18 months to 8 years old. So I mean, that terrified me. The longest flight they'd ever been on was just, Cleveland, Ohio to Orlando, like less than 2-hour flight. So we had kind of a snafu of a travel day on the way out, and they handled it like champs. And I mean, it went pretty smoothly that we're planning to go back. So don't be afraid to take little kids on, even if it's a long flight. And second, I want to talk a little bit about the room locations, because we searched for an ocean view because it was our first trip to Aulani, our first trip to Hawaii.
We did too, Holly. We did for our first trip as well. Splurged for that ocean view because you want to wake up to that.
Right. And I loved it. I loved everything about our room. We were on an upper floor. We overlooked the pool. We were actually right above the Olelo room in that like first part of the Ewa Tower.
Oh, nice.
And on the balcony with the music at night, which is lovely.
And I loved that tower. Even though you were set a little bit further back in the resort, you had a long balcony, kind of like the Grand Villas, instead of the triangle balconies that were split.
Yeah, so the other side has the triangle ones.
Yeah, so we had one long balcony, and we didn't have an angle-shaped room at all. Our room was completely straight, so I felt like we had a little bit more space. So when I request next time, we're doing Island Gardens, so I'm gonna request the other side of that tower for the Island Gardens.
And Holly, to add to that, we had a cast member tell us, ask for that, but a higher room up, and you possibly also get your ocean view.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people get like little partial glimpses of the ocean view.
Yes. Yeah. And huge tip. Oh my gosh. Have a backpack or something with you with swim trunks and such with you, because it could be forever until you get your room, and you want to get out there enjoying the water.
For sure. That's a great tip. And they also have that kind of layover room, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Did they still have that when you guys were there, where you could go and like change, and they had lockers and stuff and like washing facilities near the DVC member lounge, right?
Yep. If you go down and you got to kind of rent a time.
Yeah, you reserve
first thing
a time
in the morning, and so we stayed out at the pools all day. And then when it was time to get to the airport, we went in, changed. They have a locker room, showers, all that, so you don't have to go, sandy or.
So I kept our carry-on with like a change of clothes and everything. Right. So when we were done swimming, we all showered. I had a few of the small toiletries, and we showered and just put our wet stuff in that carry-on. And
another tip: if it's your the day before we checked out, when we went to go get our wristbands, they offered if we wanted our wristband for our last day.
Yeah.
So you can check into that. So then that way, if we're checking out, we don't have to worry about coming down and getting it. We passed because we were leaving earlier in the morning. But something to think about that last day, you could already get your wristband, so you're ready to go.
I want to say they told us it was after, I want to say maybe like 2:30 or something, you could get your wristbands for the next day. If you went to the towel shack. Yeah. Did you have a tip?
Yeah, I mean, so one thing with the app is once you're looking at the activities, once it hits that time, it disappears on that app. So if you do get a chance with characters, there's characters all over every 15 minutes. So do a screenshot, because by the time you meet the one, you're like, where do I need to go for the other?
Oh, no.
So make sure you do that. I think that was good. And then I just don't overplan.
No.
Like we thought we were going to go to this and then go see this afterwards. Take your time. Enjoy the resort. You don't have to leave that resort.
No, you don't.
There's so much to do there. There's a lot of cool things outside of it. But I wouldn't try to plan too much. If you are taking kids and you're from the East Coast, be prepared to be up by 4. Because they don't adjust, and be prepared for them to be sleeping at dinner. I mean, our kids were in bed by 6 p.m. most of the nights, and they were up in our bed at 3:34 in the morning, ready to go for the day.
The nice thing is, though, in Hawaii, everything closes early and everything opens early. So, I mean, we were ready to go swimming right when the pools opened. And
That's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Question for you folks. I had seen one of my friends was there a couple months ago and they had their magic bands. Did you notice if the magic bands are up and running there? So you want to talk about that a little bit?
If you have your magic band linked to the My Disney Experience app, it has to be that way because we have ours linked for Disneyland, but we did not for Disney World. And once we linked those, then yes, the magic band will work to unlock the door, to tap in, to get your wristband, or anytime you need to tap. So they will work. And
is it which generation of it is it that's working there?
We had the first time the Magic Band Plus came out. So not the old Magic Band. It has to be a Magic Band Plus. And you can also charge to your room.
That's awesome. Good.
We were there whenever they had just started it. So I don't even think we packed one, or I thought I packed one, but then I couldn't find it.
You know if they sell them there as well? Or...
Yes, they do. They have some Aulani specific Magic Bands.
They also have spirit jerseys and ears.
You know my weakness, Nick. My weaknesses.
Yes. We have a giant extra bag to carry on the way home.
And yes, a tip on merchandise we found out because there was a shirt that we both really wanted that never showed up. They get shipments usually a couple times during the week. We were told currently Tuesdays and Fridays. So if you don't see something, check back later to see if they got another shipment in.
And they don't usually put it out first thing in the morning. He told us to check back in the evening, actually.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Because we were looking for the little Mickey lamp ornaments because we were there around Christmas time. And I think I got it at 5:30 in the evening. They were just stocking them as we walked by and grabbed a couple.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you buy a full-size one?
No.
They're so stinking cute. Oh my God.
We bought 2 of the small ones because we know one's going to get broken soon.
But we were talking about the magic bands. If you don't have a Magic Band Plus or you don't want to take a Magic Band, we got those waterproof pouches for our phones. And we just stuck our room key down in there because it was always on our person and we could charge everything using our room key to our room.
I think those waterproof pouches for your phone are the coolest things because when I was doing snorkeling, I could record underwater and all that stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Amazon just delivered some to my house recently. So
there you go.
There you go. I was very skeptical. I'd never used them before, but they were.
Oh, so Rye also confirms your get the next day's swim man the day before. So after 1 p.m. he says, or she says,
nice.
So that you can skip the long lines in the morning. That's great. And if you have a studio room, the laundry room takes tokens. However, you have to get the tokens from the front desk, and they only give you a limited amount. So just make sure to have it to stop by the front desk every day or every other day to ask for the tokens. That's a great tip, actually. I remember that. Oh, that was a drag. And then I love watching the East Coasters roaming the property like zombies at 5 a.m. The Ulu Cafe doesn't open until 6:30, so make your coffee in your room. Right. So another tip for that, folks, is I was at that gym, which is 24 hours. I hope it's still 24 hours at this point. But yeah, the gym on our last trip was 24 hours, so I was walking that treadmill first thing in the morning, getting my fix of whatever show I was watching until the kids and everybody else woke up because my jet lag was real.
Well, even for West Coasters, I'm letting you know, I can't imagine for you, it was a struggle for the first few days, waking up bright and early, at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, going, okay.
Yep. I think the worst was that at that point in time, remember when they used to give away free dining as a promo? Well, guess when they launched free dining? When I was at Aulani. So all my guests, 1 a.m. That was fun.
Oh no.
Anywho, any other tips and tricks, folks, before we sign off? No? Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for giving me all the tips and tricks before I leave, and I really appreciate it. And for all of you folks who are going to be traveling to Aulani soon, we wish you the best trip ever out to those beautiful islands. So on behalf of Steve and Nick and Holly and Dan, that's it for us tonight. Thanks for joining us, folks. See you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, please watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
Aw, chill up, Dad. You know I'll come back. With DVC.
My DVC Points is an unofficial Disney-inspired podcast created by fans of Disney Vacation Club. The thoughts expressed in this podcast are personal opinions and personal experiences. My DVC Points is not affiliated with Disney Vacation Club, the Walt Disney Companies, or any subsidiaries. We encourage listeners to contact their DVC guide or member services for official DVC policies.